Right then, welcome back to another vid. This is a vlog vid where I'm going to talk about all kinds of random stuff. So no cohesion at all. We'll just go with the flow, and whatever comes out of my mouth is what we're going to go with. Which could be dangerous, but probably won't be. Very much sitting on the fence. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't want to cause any trouble. Just got to be me, chilled out, as per usual. I'm talking bollocks already, and we're only 30 seconds in. So yeah, you're going to be watching some, unless you're doing something else, but if you are watching the screen, you're seeing some Battlefield Hardline footage. Now this is the Xbox One version, and I picked this up. It would have been on a pickup vid, I don't know, several weeks back maybe. I think I got it pretty much when it came out. So I think that's going back, what was that, maybe March time? Give or take, I think it was around about March. But I've recently picked it up on the PlayStation 4, stupidly, some may say, to have the same copy, the same game on two systems. Check this out, by the way. Through the iron bars, headshot, it was amazing. So, yeah, and I did pretty well on this, but I think I pretty much exclusively, apart from right now, used the sniper rifle. There may be a few other kind of pistol kills in there, but my primary weapon will be the sniper. And in this map especially, it's so kind of, you know, it spans out a little bit and pans out, and the best weapon to use, in my opinion, for this map is the sniper rifle, but, you know, it's a game of opinions. So yeah, it's a little bit silly of me to pick up the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 version, but ultimately I've done it because a series of friends play it on the PlayStation 4 right now that little bit more. And whilst I do still like going online, and there is a, you know, a bit of a buzz and a bit of a kick, and you do get a good time playing online against random people, there's nothing quite like playing against friends, people who you know, who you can talk to, who you can have banter with. And it brings a new dimension to online gaming, and I really enjoy that. And I'm still blown away by that, how you can see people from the other side of the bloody world running around on your screen and interacting with them. Here's another couple of shots, which are pretty good coming up. Look at that. And then straight away, a piece of bloody tree was blocking my view, but it didn't stop me. Still got him. And then annoyingly, and you see this a lot in Battlefield Hardline, and it's probably the most annoying feature in the game, the spawn system is dreadful. I can pretty much guarantee he was spawned there behind me, which gives me no chance, because I don't know he's there, and it's just immensely frustrating. The spawn system is the worst I've ever seen on any game, or it might just be in this particular game mode, which is Team Deathmatch. Now, sometimes it can work in your favour, because you spawn with the enemy in front of you, so you can definitely kind of get your own back. But it's really annoying. They need to do something about that, because it just doesn't work. So hopefully they'll fix that soon, and the game will be infinitely better as a result. But that's that. So yeah, I picked it up on the PlayStation 4, and it's just a case now of trying to gravitate towards that controller, because by nature, really, over recent years, I prefer the Xbox controller, whether it's a 360 one or the Xbox One controller. It just feels bulkier, it feels sturdier, it feels more durable, I guess, which is the same thing as sturdy in a way. It just feels better. In comparison, to me, the PS3 and PS4 controllers feel a little cheap. They feel like they could break, and in fact I've experienced them both breaking. Whereas I haven't had that with the Xbox controllers, so I don't know, make of that what you will. So anyway, it made me laugh today, because at work we had, at lunchtime, we had a barbecue. And it's the first time we'd had a barbecue for about a year, actually. And since then we've got a lot more staff. If anyone watched that video that I did, which was like a little bit of a tour around my workplace, albeit at like 6 o'clock in the morning when nobody was in, then you'll kind of understand how, you know, what I do and all that kind of stuff. It's nothing exciting, just working in the credit card industry, banking industry essentially. And since then we're still in the same building, but we've moved upstairs, which I think I alluded to in that actual vid. I said in the future we'd be moving up, and we have. And maybe in the future as well, I'll do an updated vid and you can see my desk now, for anyone who cares. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we had this barbecue, and we had the usual kind of stuff. You know, the hot dogs are out, the cheeseburgers, the hamburgers, the soda, the crisps, or chips as we call them over here. You know, cakes, cookies, you name it. Typical kind of, you know, that a barbecue basically. And I've eaten loads of rubbish. I feel sick. It's nearly 6 o'clock at night now. I've been back from work for a while. And yeah, I've just had way too much. And that diet will start soon. The diet will definitely start soon. Probably won't, but we'll see. Let's go for it. We're going to maybe next week. Healthy living, or moderation. I think that's the best thing to do. Because ruling junk food out completely is something I can't do. So I'm not going to pretend I can or that I will. But I can definitely cut back. You know, moderation, I think, is always a good thing. But anyway, it made me laugh because I don't particularly want to speak about the barbecue, because nothing outrageously... Oh, actually, I was going to say nothing outrageously exciting happened. Let me quickly tell you this. You kind of had to be there. I've just thought about this. So we're all getting ready. People are kind of lining up and we're talking. It's really sunny outside and I was really uncomfortable because I really should have brought some shades and the bloody light shining in my eyes. So I kind of had to go in the shade with a few other kind of hermits when we were eating. Other people, I guess, who don't like the sun. And but yeah, we saw these guitars out. And it's like a music stand. It was almost like someone was going to turn up and do a gig. And a couple of us were like, what's going on here? And I felt a bit paranoid, as did one of my colleagues called Heath, because we both play the guitar, and some of our work colleagues know that, and we were paranoid that they were going to ask us to play on these guitars, but thankfully that wasn't the case. What happened was two work colleagues, one who's a relatively new member of staff, he's a nice guy, he's called Chris, only in his early 20s, he's a really cool, laid-back guy, and he's into his gaming as well, so, you know, gets extra bonus points for that. So he's cool, and he was kind of playing the guitar, and he transpired he was singing as well, pretty quietly. I don't know if it's because he was a bit shy or whatever. But then there was also, like, we've got a temp who started about a month ago called Angela, a really nice lady, probably, I don't mean to do her a disservice, but in her 50s, maybe a bit older. Well, you know, that kind of ballpark age range, not that it matters, but just trying to, you know, paint a picture for you. And all of a sudden she pitched up with a guitar really high up around her neck, like some kind of folk band from like the 1970s or something. And she's kind of hippie-esque as well. And that's not a criticism at all. You know, I don't care what people look like or, you know, their lifestyle. That's fine. I'm just, trying to describe her. Long hair, all that kind of stuff. And she starts singing, but let's just say it wasn't the greatest voice that you'll ever hear. But of course everyone like politely kind of going, oh, well done, that was really good. And I'm just like laughing, thinking this is just bloody dreadful. I mean, it was really bad. It was really, really bad. Hats off for trying, right? But seriously, it was bollocks. And I just really wanted to say something, but of course I didn't, and I wouldn't have done. But it was cringeworthy stuff. So that's that. Anyway, you kind of had to be there to witness it. It was just ridiculous. And it went on for ages. They were playing Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine, Karma Police by Radiohead. It's like a little duo, and the most ridiculous duo ever. Really cool young lad in his like early 20s, give or take. You know, like studenty kind of guy, into his gaming. And then next to him, like what looked like his mum. It just looked ridiculous. But anyway, fair enough. You know, they got up and sang and played the guitar. We didn't, so kudos to them, right? So I'm not knocking them, but still, it was bollocks, and you had to be there. So, oh, look at that. Oh, bloody hell, I thought I was going to get him there. But anyway, obviously missed him. Maybe I get him in a second. Or maybe you ran away. It doesn't really matter. So the funniest thing, and again, you really had to be there. And this is a bit awkward kind of explaining this. But it's a true story, so I'm going to have to talk about it. So there I was at work earlier on in the day. And again, we've got another new member of staff. Because, you know, we're growing all the time as a company and new people are starting. And she's fine, down to earth and all that kind of stuff. Called Leslie. She's like in her late 20s. And she was kind of fascinated by some of the words that we in the UK use. You know, phrases such as the bee's knees and, you know, bloody hell and you're having a laugh. And all these kind of things which they don't use over here. So she started reeling them off this list. She was obviously looking at a website or something. And to begin with, I was kind of, I was explaining what they mean. So she'd say one like, you're having a laugh. And then I'd quickly explain what it meant. But she kept reeling them off and off and off. So eventually I just couldn't be bothered. So I was just listening to her reel them off. And the funny part was, she got to like three phrases. One of them she read out, she said something like, oh, what was it like, I can't even remember. Let's just say it was the bee's knees, for example. And I just kind of nodded as if to say, yeah, I've heard of that one. And then she went, cock up. Now, we all know what a cock up is. But I didn't say anything. I just kind of smiled as if to say, yeah, I know what that means. But then straight after saying cock up, she said another word. So, and this is how it went. Again, you had to be there. It was a little bit awkward. But so she kind of went, bee's knees. Did a little bit of a giggle. And then she went, cock up. Fanny. Because fanny, obviously, in the UK and the US, has a completely different meaning, as we're all aware. But she didn't know that. She's just reading off these words which are different. So to hear someone just say, cock up, fanny, kind of immediately I was like, what did you say? I wasn't really with it. I was, sorry? And I started laughing. She's like, well, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, well, what did you just say? And she went, well, cock up. And I went, what else? Fanny. I said, so say that again. And she went, cock up fanny. And it was really childish. You had to be there. But it was really awkward, because then obviously she was looking at me laughing almost hysterically and in an embarrassed kind of fashion. I don't know why I was embarrassed for her. Check this out, by the way. Nice. Baton to the face. Arrested him. So, yeah, it was really awkward. Then I had to explain what it meant, which was even more cringeworthy. So I had to be really kind of delicate and, oh, God almighty, real kind of facepalm, tumbleweed moment. But it was funny. So that was that. And of course, she seemed pretty, I wouldn't say embarrassed. She seems as if she's got a bit of a filthy mind, actually, between between you and me. But yeah, she seemed quite a nice girl, in all honesty. And that's what you want when you work with people and when new people start. So she's fine, no real problems. Potentially a little bit kind of argumentative kind of personality, but not in a nasty way. And I hope she's not watching this video, because that'll be even more embarrassing. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised in the future if I tell you a story where Leslie, as nice as she is, has left the company, because she's quite blunt. But I'm sure that's maybe nerves. You know, you want to impress. You're meeting new people. She's fine, no problems. But I'm just saying, just heads up in the future where I go. Do you remember me telling you about Leslie? Well, she's been sacked. Just expect that line to come out of my mouth in the future. So that's that. So I think that's about it. Pretty much wrapped up all I want to talk about, and let's face it, the game is pretty much coming to an end. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner there with the scoreline at 386, 387, 388. It's going up all the time now, 390. I'm like a talking clock here, it's ridiculous. It's the first one to 400 wins the game, and that's pretty much how Team Deathmatch works. So I'm just looking around, trying to get the last kill, and trying to finish on a positive note where possible. So yeah, I'm really liking the game. I'm trying to get back into the PlayStation 4 version, and I'm kind of succeeding in doing that. I say get back into it because, of course, I uploaded a beta gameplay to the PlayStation 4 version of Hardline about a year ago. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to try and get the same kill to death ratio and to do as well on the PS4 controller, but I'm slowly getting there. So that's about that. So 23-7, we win the game, pretty high up in the table there, looks like I finished 6th, and yeah, can't complain. So, until my next vid, which will be sometime next week, then thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.